Now this illustration deals with Article 406 to start with, and we're looking at grounding type receptacles and just some of the aspects of receptacles. Now notice, reviewing that receptacle, we have the ungrounded phases. That is the shorter slot there. The electrician should know that. The grounded slot, it's going to be the longer one. So we know that. Then the U shape that you see there is the equipment grounding slot that you see down at the bottom. Now, receptacles, the equipment ground, the ungrounded conductors, plus the neutral, though they have certain identification or color coding schemes that make it up. Now, the first thing that we will review is the color code white or gray that you see to the left. Now, it all begins in 310.6a. And that section will refer you to 200.6a and 210.5a for branch circuitry. And notice that that grounded conductor could be white for 122.8, 120, 122.40, gray for 277, 480. Now, next, right below it, we find the color code scheme for the green insulation, say yellow stripe, green with one or more yellow stripes, or stripped. And notice 300.6b, again, would refer you to 250.134b, it's in boy, which states, yeah, the equipment ground's got to be pulled with the neutral and the ungrounded conductors. And 210.5b, you're dealing with the branch circuit. And in 250.119a, you're color coding or identifying the equipment ground. And if you read that, say number 6 or smaller, you green the entire length. Number 4 larger, you could then identify with tape, green spray paint that wouldn't deteriorate insulation and attack it in any way. Now the final thing that we would look at is the color code for the ungrounded conductors. Now to the right, you see those black conductors there. We would reference 310.6c as in car. It would give us a reference to 210.5c. And the ungrounded conductors could be of any color that you choose or use, except white, gray, green, green with one or more yellow stripes, or naturally you wouldn't want to strip it because it'd short out immediately. But the thing is, we have electricians that are not knowledgeable on this, and they will actually take and make conductors hot, ungrounded conductors, using an equipment ground or neutral color, and especially in existing systems. This is strictly prohibited without you follow code sections. I will point out again, when you deal with conductors, insulation, and so forth, color coding, identifying, whatever the case may be, always keep in your mind 310.10 and 310.6. And then you can forget about having to remember in your mind all these different sections, because 310.10 along with 310.6, those sections will refer you to the appropriate section for services, feeders, branch circuits, and where the insulation can be used, dry, damp, wet, exposed to the sun, what's the requirements, the color coding or the identification. So grounding receptacles, in accordance with 406.4a, is what our figure 10-1 is illustrating along with all of the characteristics of receptacles that are located in Article 406. And if we should review 70B, Chapter 24, and you change out a receptacle, then we're going to be referred from 70B to Article 406. What type of receptacle is it? Is it a duplex? Is it a single receptacle? Is it a GFCI type? Is it an AFCI type? Is it a tamper-proof type? So 70B says if you're replacing one-on-one as a maintenance electrician, 70B is not requiring you to know all the NEC completely, but just know it well enough when you're changing out one-on-one which article in the code deals with your subject. Like switches, 70B is going to refer you to Article 404. Again, what kind of switch is it? Is it a single post switch? Is it a double post switch? Is it a three-way switch? Is it a four-way switch? What type of switch is it? See, we have to know that so that when we change it out, we will be providing safety for the user of a switch or a user of a receptacle. So that's what our figure 10-1 is basically showing grounding receptacles in accordance with 406.4a, as in Apple.